Have you ever wondered if there are things you should never share with your family, no matter how close you are? As the years go by, wisdom teaches us that not every truth needs to be spoken, and not every thought deserves an audience. There are parts of our lives, our hearts, and our memories that deserve to stay ours until the very end. After 75, many of us find ourselves reflecting on what truly matters, but too often, people lose that peace not because of what they did, but because of what they revealed. Some truths, when spoken, create distance where love once lived. Some opinions, once shared, are misunderstood and never forgotten. And some memories, once open, bring more sorrow than understanding. In this video, we're going to uncover 4 things you should keep private as you age. These are not about deception. They're about preserving peace, dignity, and love in your later years. Each one holds deep emotional and psychological meaning, and by understanding them, you'll learn how to maintain balance and respect in the relationships that matter most. Stay tuned until the end, because what you'll discover here could help you avoid unnecessary heartache, strengthen family bonds, and protect your inner peace for the rest of your life. Now let's get started. Number 1, the details of your finances. Money has a strange way of changing relationships, even among the closest of families. When you're younger, open discussions about finances can bring transparency and cooperation. But after 75, wisdom teaches you that silence in certain matters is protection, both for you and for those you love. You've worked your whole life to earn what you have. You've made choices, sacrifices, and mistakes that only you fully understand. But when you begin revealing every detail, how much you've saved, where you've invested, what you plan to leave behind, you invite interpretations, expectations, and sometimes quiet resentment. Even the most loving children can unconsciously begin to view you differently once they know the numbers. The truth is, money carries emotional weight. It can stir competition among siblings, create subtle pressure to share before you're ready, or even lead to disagreements over decisions that should be yours alone. And once those conversations begin, they're almost impossible to undo. Psychologically, financial boundaries help maintain independence and dignity. They reinforce the sense that you are still the decision maker in your own life. It's not secrecy born of distrust, it's preservation of peace. Family members, especially adult children, might mean well, but their opinions can easily shift into influence. And when that happens, your freedom to choose can quietly erode. This doesn't mean you should leave your loved ones in confusion. Preparing a will, organizing important documents, and choosing a trusted executor are all acts of love. But sharing every detail in advance can complicate emotions and create unnecessary tension. There's wisdom in keeping some matters private until the proper time comes. Consider the story of a man named Robert, 82, who told his family how much he had set aside for inheritance. What began as gratitude slowly turned into subtle changes, expectations about how he should spend, unspoken judgments about his generosity, and quiet competition between his children. In his final years, he confided that the one mistake he regretted most was not keeping his financial affairs to himself. Money, when spoken about too freely, can build walls instead of bridges. The peace of your later years depends not on how much you have, but on how you manage the emotions around it. When you keep financial details private, you preserve not only your security, but also the purity of your relationships. Let your family love you for who you are, not for what they think you might leave behind. Some things, especially your financial truth, are better held close to your heart until the time is right. It's not secrecy, it's wisdom born of experience and self-respect. Number 2, the full truth about your regrets. Every person reaches an age where memories start to visit more often than plans for the future. You begin to recall the things you said, the choices you made, the people you lost, and the moments you wish you could redo. Regret becomes quieter with time, but it never completely disappears. And sometimes the urge to share those regrets with your family grows stronger, almost like confessing a lifetime's worth of burdens before you go. But here's the truth that comes with age. Not every regret needs to be spoken aloud. Some truths bring peace only to the one who carries them, not to those who hear them. There are things your family might never understand, not because they don't care, but because they simply haven't lived your life. And when you share your deepest regrets, it can shift the way they see you. Not as the strong figure they've always known, but as someone fragile. Someone they suddenly feel they must fix or pity. That's not what you want. You don't need sympathy, you need understanding. And often that understanding is something only you can give yourself. Sharing every regret can unintentionally place a weight on your family's shoulders, a guilt that isn't theirs to bear. They might begin to carry sadness for things that belong to your past, not theirs. The beauty of growing older is learning that some peace comes from release, not revelation. Forgiving yourself quietly can be far more healing than trying to explain every chapter of your life to others. You've already lived the lessons. There's no need to reopen every wound just to prove how far you've come. Regrets are deeply personal teachers. Psychologists often describe them as emotional signposts, proof that you've cared, loved, and tried. But sharing every one of them with your family can blur boundaries between past and present, pulling them into emotions they can't resolve. It can create confusion or even guilt where none should exist. Take comfort in knowing that your family doesn't need to know every sorrow to love you fully. They already see your strength in the way you've lived, survived, and grown. And the quiet dignity with which you carry your past teaches them far more than any confession ever could. If there are things you still wrestle with, express them privately, in prayer, in a journal, or in a quiet conversation with someone you trust deeply. But keep the most personal regrets as sacred ground between you and your own soul. Holding some of your past in silence isn't deception, it's grace. It allows your loved ones to remember you for your wisdom, not your wounds. Let them carry forward the lessons, not the pain. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, the true value of what you own. Possessions have a way of shaping how people treat you, whether they mean to or not. As you get older, your home, your heirlooms, your land, or even your savings become symbols in the eyes of others. Signs of what you've built over a lifetime. But when you start sharing the exact value of what you own, or how much certain things might be worth, you invite a different kind of attention. One that's not always about love, but about perception. You might think, they're my family, I trust them. And of course, that's true. But even the kindest hearts can be influenced by money. When people know exactly what you have, it can quietly shift the tone of relationships. Conversations become cautious, expectations grow unspoken, and small misunderstandings can turn into deep divides. It's not about mistrust, it's about protection. You're protecting the purity of your relationships, ensuring that your worth isn't measured in dollars but in the life you've lived and the love you've given. Once people know a number, they begin to assign value not just to your belongings, but to your choices. Suddenly, opinions form about what you should sell, what you should keep, or who should receive what in the future. And the moment that happens, peace starts to fade. Keeping the full truth about what you own private doesn't mean you're hiding. It means you're preserving respect. You're setting a healthy boundary between transparency and wisdom. Sharing too much information about your assets can lead to unintended consequences, from family conflicts to subtle manipulations. You may even find that people start treating you differently, not out of malice, but out of subconscious awareness of what you possess. Think of Eleanor, a 78-year-old widow who casually mentioned the appraised value of her home to her children. What began as a simple conversation soon became complicated. Her children started discussing who might take over the house, how to handle the sale, and even what should happen to her belongings after she was gone. None of them meant harm, but the emotional distance it created changed her peace completely. Psychologists often point out that keeping certain boundaries around wealth in later life helps maintain emotional balance and trust. It prevents unnecessary assumptions, guilt, or entitlement from clouding family relationships. You've already spent a lifetime earning your comfort. You don't owe anyone full access to the details of it. So when it comes to what you own, the house, the savings, the heirlooms, speak in principles, not in numbers. Let your family know you're prepared, that things are in order, but don't let specifics create new problems. Peace in the family often depends less on inheritance and more on the mystery of fairness. Let your possessions serve you quietly without defining you. Their true worth lies not in their price, but in the stability and freedom they've given you. Protect that peace. Some truths are better left unspoken until they need to be known. And the true value of what you own is one of them. Number 4, the depth of your fears. As the years pass, fears have a way of growing quieter but deeper. They're no longer about what might happen tomorrow, but about what you might leave behind, who will remember you, or how life will change once you're gone. These are not small things. They weigh on the heart like unspoken prayers, known only to those who've lived long enough to understand them. Yet no matter how heavy these fears may feel, it's wise not to share all of them with your family. Because while honesty builds connection, too much of it can create a burden they're not ready to carry. When you reveal every fear, your worries about illness, loneliness, or death, you may think you're being transparent, but what you might actually be doing is transferring your anxiety onto the people you love most. Your children and grandchildren want to believe you're strong. They draw courage from the steadiness you've always shown. When they sense too much fear, it unsettles them, not because they don't care, but because they don't know how to fix it. It creates a quiet helplessness that lingers in their hearts. There's wisdom in shielding them from the full weight of what you feel. Not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting. The role of an elder isn't just to pass on knowledge. It's to preserve peace, even in silence. When you face your fears privately, you teach by example. You show that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the calm acceptance of it. It's perfectly natural to feel uneasy about growing old, to worry about losing independence, about being forgotten, or about the uncertainty that comes with time. But these feelings belong to you, and you've earned the right to handle them your way. Not every emotion needs an audience. Not every tear needs to be seen. There are healthier ways to express those fears. Write them down in a private journal, share them with a close friend, or talk to a counselor who can hold those emotions with understanding. These safe spaces allow you to release what's heavy without unsettling those who rely on your steadiness. Remember, strength doesn't mean pretending you're fearless. It means knowing what to keep private so that love, not worry, defines your family's memories of you. The calmness you show becomes their foundation. The peace you model becomes their inheritance. When you hold some of your fears in quiet dignity, you transform them into wisdom. You show that life's final lessons aren't about control, they're about acceptance. And that is the greatest gift you can leave behind. The reassurance that you met life's final season, not with fear, but with grace. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now then, let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we close, take a quiet moment to reflect on the 4 things we've talked about today. The details of your finances, the full truth about your regrets, the true value of what you own, and the depth of your fears. Each of these carries a kind of power, one that can either protect your peace or disturb it, depending on how you choose to handle it. Wisdom in the later years of life isn't just about what you say, it's about what you keep. Silence, when guided by love, becomes a shield. It preserves dignity, prevents misunderstanding, and keeps your relationships pure and free from unnecessary strain. You've lived long enough to know that not every truth needs to be shared to be understood. Some truths live best in the heart, quietly guiding the way you love, lead, and leave your mark. By keeping certain things private, you're not being distant. You're being wise. You're protecting your legacy, your peace, and the harmony of the family you've spent a lifetime building. Let those you love remember you for your strength, your calm, and your quiet confidence. Let them carry forward the lessons, not the worries. You've earned the right to keep certain things just for yourself, because a lifetime of experience doesn't need to be explained. It only needs to be lived with grace. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.